Welcome back and a very good morning from the sports desk. The Fortress Running Series is back for its 6th edition. The July through November event comprises 4 legs in Limpopo, Gauteng, Eastern Cape and the Northwest. Runners can take part in the 21.1, 10 or 5 kilometer race. All finishers will be receiving medals, and the total prize pool up for grabs for the 21.1 and the 10 kilometer races is nearly 20,000 Rand per event. Joining me in studio to talk about the series is former 2 Oceans Marathon winner Israel Morake and the race coordinator Dorah Mngwevu. A very good morning to you, Dorah, Lena, and Israel. Thank you so much for coming into studio. I know you guys have driven a good 7 hours from one of the venues, in fact, for the running series, Sterkspreid, when I'm on yourself. I can imagine just how tired you are, but I also imagine the excitement, you know, of the event that is going to be starting in Limpopo next month. I think about the 16th of July, if I'm not wrong. Just, Miraga, talk to me about what has gone into organizing this event. It speaks to the success of it for it to be coming back for a 6th year.
Good morning to the viewers at home. Thank you so much, Morena. Yes, as the organizer of the race, we've been doing this for the past 5-6 years with Fortress. Myself, Dorah Mngwevu, I'm the sports administrator. I've been in athletics for over 36 years that I've been doing athletics, and we decided that we have to take this into rural areas. It's not as easy in terms of preparation going to rural areas. Every time we meet new people and new area, we're trying to introduce athletics because we felt there's a gap in rural areas in athletics, and trying to compete with other sporting codes. We're trying to sell athletics so that it becomes a lovable brand towards our children, because as our legends as well, like Mr. Israel Morake next to me, they are fading and they are unknown, and we're trying to bring athletics where it's unknown in rural areas. And it's exciting to work with the children and families in the rural areas. When you do the preparation, everybody looks forward to come and take part in it, and everybody loves to come and run. It becomes one of those events. For instance, in Sterkspreid, we have, it's only one race per year. So as soon as October comes in, people know that Fortress Running Series is coming. It's T-shirts, it's jumping castles, it's face painting for the children. It's just an excitement. It becomes spectacular in those rural areas, and that is what we love doing about it. We decided we want to drift away from the cities, because you can see Comprises, 2 Oceans, Soweto, all other, Cape Town Marathon, Durban City Run, everything goes into big cities next to the coast. So we chose those areas which are neglected in South Africa.
There would not have been a 1992 2 Oceans Marathon winner coming out of Sterkspreid, you know, had it not been for initiatives like this. And I mean, even it was difficult for you to, I would imagine, to access, you know, commercial exploration, or at least that commercial know-how. You know, people just getting to see and realize that there is this talent in Sterkspreid. I mean, talk to me about the importance of Fortress and its existence in ensuring that, you know, we don't talk about Israel Morake from Sterkspreid only, that we talk about, you know, Emorana Mutupi from Sterkspreid, that there's more talent coming out of where you come from because of an event like this. Just talk to me about the importance of the Fortress Running Series.
Thank you so much. Firstly, I would like to say, you know, for me to have come out of Sterkspreid, that means there was and there is still a seed down there. That is untouched. Nobody has been looking around. So we decided, let's make it our job to look for this. And we found that, yes, there's something that we can pick up. In fact, in all of the provinces, we found that there is untouchable talent that is there. And the Kenyans can find us standing if we were to be given what Fortress Retail is giving us now. So we think with Fortress, we are aiming for the bestest of the best as far as talent looking, and then that's where we are going now.
You talked to me about how you've been in athletics for almost 40 years. I mean, I know you are specific to say 30, but it's almost 40 years. You've seen all of the generations. You've seen Israel Morake coming through and even reaching the pinnacles of athletics. So you know how bad it can get, but you also know how good it can get. You know, you've been exposed to the likes of Ezekiel Sipeng bringing home a silver medal. So you really know athletics to its core. Where has Athletics South Africa failed? The athlete, where has Athletics South Africa failed? The seeds that are in places like Sterkspruit, places like Venda, places like Klerksdorp.
I'm a former board member of Athletics South Africa as well. I was a board member. I did not take part in the last term, which is this term, but the last term I was board member for 6 years. And, there's a lot of instability within the boardroom. And I think Athletics South Africa, we are failing in terms of going where we're supposed to be doing the jobs. And we understand board members is for the boardroom, but we need to go out there and people be committed to what they're appointed to or they're elected to be, and deliver to those athletes who are waiting for leadership to come and say, here we are to serve you. So as long as the leadership of any federation in South Africa, all the sporting federations across South Africa, as long as they can understand the mandate, why are they serving the people? Athletics South Africa, for an example, we still do not have a solid academies which we can say we have identified talent. For an example, Fortress is committed to help us to go to rural areas and say, we know Limpopo, it's a province that produces most of middle distance athletes. We know most of them. Hendrik Ramala comes from there, Caster comes from there. In these days, there were the Tebe brothers, they were coming from there, Lawrence, I can name, it's a list, it's an endless list. Eastern Cape, for example, we know Situlele Singer comes from there. We know Anaso Jobotwana comes from the Eastern Cape. So we have a variety of talent in this country. As long as the National Federation doesn't understand that they should go and also create their own product. And because it becomes a burden to the parents and the school sports. And we need this integration of all the components to bring this talent to the surface.
You are seeing the burden that Mama is talking about with the likes of Dijan, who he's sitting with about 2 million rands, at the moment for all of the amazing work he's done. And that's, if you're going to combine the prize money last year, the prize money this year, he's sitting with a healthy chunk of money, but he's still saying that it is not enough for me to sustain myself. Therefore, I will go back to my job as security guard at the Northwest University. There could be other factors in that decision, but firstly, let's talk about Dijan and just how amazing a talent he is, where he has a day job, but then he also manages to put the effort he puts into his athletics. And also just what can ASA do? What can everybody involved in sport in this country do for the likes of Dijan to not have to rely on another job for them to be able to put food on the table? That they can actually, this passion for athletics can feed them.
I'll firstly start by saying Dijan came to our race last year. We had a race in Northwest, and he negotiated with the route, and he won. And now from there, he went down to comrades. He negotiated even more on the comrades route, and he won. This year, he decided to negotiate seriously, and he won again. So there you go. You see, from the rural, you can make it shine easily. So with us, our task should be, we are lucky that we've got your Fortress Retail to come up and say, listen, let's go for this. Let's hit this. We want to see this. You've been talking about it. We want to see it. Now our duty is to sit down and look at what Fortress Retail is after now, So that's where we are now.
And also to add on what Mr. Morake is saying is that that we need a corporate to also,
of course,
partner to development. Unfortunately, most of the corporate companies, they want a ready-made product so that they can have what we call sponsorship media attention, so that their brand is advertised. And Fortress is committed Fortress Retail said, let's go to rural. We're not ready for television.
For
the past 5 years, they said, do not bring television yet until we matured enough to be on a public space on television. And this is a kind of sponsor, you say, it doesn't put pressure on us to say we need to now to put pressure on the athletes.
Yeah.
Speaking about Tete Dijana, he's also coming to Venda.
That's beautiful.
And like we're saying, Venda Kingdom is calling, and we are answering for the call. He's coming, him, and we have also Edward Mutibe coming.
That's beautiful.
We have Rufus Porto coming. He came from Comprises.
So it's going to be star-studded.
It's going to be. We want them to go and inspire those young kids. Says, look, here am I, and coming to what we can do. Remember, I ran in the times of the mines. Whereby the mine had a system where an athlete doesn't have to worry about the welfare of his family. That was taken care of. And therefore, you could even see those times, we had runners like Mr. Israel Morake. They were running best times, 10,000 meters. Mr. Kolilea had record time, which this day our athletes are struggling even to run an 800 meters, 144. They're struggling. And we're still sitting with Mr. Ezekiel Sepen record time of 142. So because of the lack, we lack in those systems. It's a burden to universities alone.
Now, of course, then you've got fortresses who are then saying that, you know what, we are there to ensure that we can get the next Israels, the next Ezekiels, the next, Tetes coming out of this particular event. Remember, thank you so much for joining us. We will have to leave it there. Thank you so much, and that as well to you, Israel. We can only but hope that this event coming in July will only but be the success that it has been for the last couple of years. Of course, that is 1992 Two Oceans Marathon winner, and that Israel Morake, as well as race coordinator of the Fortress Running Series happening next month, Dorah Mngwevu. That's where we leave it from the sports desk for now.